Hi there, welcome. I'm Jenny Wright, and this is List Build and Lead. And before I jump into today's episode and all the content I'm going to share with you, which is really cool, I want to tell you about a couple things that are happening which are very exciting. One is our guest next week is a good friend of mine who I've known for a couple of years, and I also worked with. We created a summit together. Her name is Haley Lynn Gray of Women's Entrepreneur Network and Leadership Girl. Those are the two different things that she runs, and she's going to be with us next week talking about paid advertising, because I am not good at talking about paid advertising. I know enough just to be able to talk about it a little bit, but she knows the ins and outs. So I invited her on to answer all of your questions about paid traffic. So you should definitely tune in next week to hear that. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you is that I'm launching a brand new free online challenge starting on December the 9th. It's called the Level Up List Build Challenge, and you can check it out at leveluplistbuildchallenge.com. It's for you if you've ever done any list building and you want to take things to the next level. If you've done list building and maybe things fell flat and you had some issues and you're looking for solutions. If you've never list built before and you're telling yourself some stories, or you've got some issues where you're just not sure if list building is for you, if you need to do it now, if you need to do it later, or perhaps you're not sure how to list build or even what to do for a list build. Should you do challenges or summits or lead magnets or video series? We're going to talk about all of that. So it's a really, really in-depth challenge, okay? So it's not fluff. I'm really going to be pulling back the curtain on list building and talking about some of the nitty-gritty that people don't dive into. So hopefully you'll come with me and you'll actually join me there. Check it out at leveluplistbuildchallenge.com. Okay? Good? So let's dive into today's content. I'm really excited about this one. I was super excited to record this for you because I've been thinking about this one for a while. And this is about what the top list builds have taught me. So not only have I been doing list builds for our own business and hundreds of them for our clients, but I also watch what's going on in the industry around me. I'm very aware of who's doing what and when and how. And I really dive in and I sign up for loads of list builds. I sign up for summits and challenges and video series and lead magnets galore. And I have this huge repository of information that I keep building so that I can pull out the most cool tips and the cool things that people are doing, and I can see what's happening, and I can look at the success of things, and I can also look at the things that I probably would not recommend my clients do, so that you guys get all of that information and it benefits you. So you don't have to go looking at 10 or 15 or even 30 different list builds at any given time. I'm doing all that work. Okay. So the first thing that you definitely want me to share with you is all about being niched in. Niching matters. It doesn't matter if it's your first list build or if you're Tony Robbins and you're doing your 30th or your 50th list build, or 100th in his case, I'm sure. Niching in matters so much. The big list builds, the big people who are doing list building are really focusing in on a sub of a sub of a sub of a sub niche. If they're in weight loss, they're not talking about all weight loss. They're talking about their little itsy bitsy corner of weight loss and what they focus on, what floats their boat, what gets them going, what really interests them. And it's always in alignment with the product, program, or service they're offering off the back end, right? So think about your niche and think about your sub little area that you can control, that you want to be the absolute expert on. Okay, and that's where you focus. And that's going to create the best possible list build for you. The next one is actually mindset, right? So you might wonder why I talk about mindset, because I'm all about the tech and the step-by-step and giving you guys all the information that's going to help you build your businesses and list build and get leads and all these kinds of things. But I also have to talk about mindset, because you got to get your head right before you do any type of list building for your business. Right? So mindset really, really matters. If you're going through a really stressful time in your life, it impacts everything. If you're going through a great time in your life, it impacts everything, right? It always has that effect, and you guys know that. But when it comes to list building, you've got to go into a list build with the right mindset. And one of the things I share with my clients is the list that I get from this list build is the exact list that I need and I desire and I want. It's almost like an affirmation, right? Because what you do is if you're always going, oh, I wanted to get 2,000 people off of this list build and you only hit 1,000, you're going to feel like that list build is a failure. And that impacts actually how you relate to those people after that list build is over. You're gonna be like, do I really want to be in touch with these people? Do I want to do the webinar that I was going to do now and try and sell the thing because I didn't get the 1,000 or whatever, or I didn't get the 2,000, I only got 1,000. It affects how you interact. If you go into the list build and you're like, hey, the number I get is the number I get, and it's going to be awesome, and I'm going to rock it, and I'm going to run the webinar afterwards, and even if 10 people show up, it's going to be great. You got to do it, right? So if you actually spend the time to get your head around these things and be like, yeah, whatever I do is going to be absolutely okay, and it's going to work for me no matter what. Funny thing is that it actually works for you. You'll end up having a more successful list build. You'll be more engaged with your people, and you'll actually have a better result in the back end. Don't ask me all how it actually works. I just know that it works, and it has to do with mindset, right? So it has to do with how you actually wrap your head around what you're going to do and the outcome that you're willing to accept and receive. So that's my little piece about mindset. The next one is how you think about your audience really, really matters. So if you're looking at your audience and you're thinking, these people are my meal ticket, and I want you to give me money, and I'm just giving you this free thing, so you're going to give me money off the back end. That's not the way to look at it. You need to look at these people and say, I'm here to help and serve, and I'm going to help them, with their weight loss, or I'm going to help them with their financial matters, or I'm going to help them with, being a better mom, or being a more present lover, or whatever that is for you, right? Then that actually matters, because off the back end, those people are going to actually feel that you care. They're going to feel like you've put them first, which is what we want them to feel. And then we offer a program, product, or service that is in alignment with our values of service. And people will actually buy that. That whole adage of that, sleazy car salesman, people can see it coming a mile away. Well, if you're offering something for free in a list build, and your only desire is to get money from people, trust me, they will feel it in the list build, and you're going to have less success. So take that advice for what it is and try and apply it to what you're doing. The next thing is I always create, and I always do the hands, I create multiple avenues to get everybody to the exact same goal. So not everybody learns the same way. Some people learn visually. Some people learn by reading. Some people learn in all sorts of different ways. And so when you're doing a list build, you need to consider who your audience is and create multiple avenues. So instead of just doing a 3-part video series, you have to consider that some of the people that are going to be signing up for your list build are learners who learn by reading. So you might actually include the transcripts of those videos, or you might include the audio for people who don't watch video and consume things like they're just podcast consumers, right? So you have to look at the different avenues to get everybody to the same place, which is to consume your lead magnet and then be able to take them to the next thing right after it. So don't exclude audiences simply because it's convenient for you to do a video. So with these actual weekly trainings, I do closed captioning. I also have a transcript that I'm trying to get more in the practice of actually posting and sharing with people. People can access the audio only of this. So there's different avenues. So I'm taking care of all those different aspects to get people to the exact same spot. Make sense? Are you with me on this? I hope so. Let me know. I'd love to get some feedback on this video. So please let me know what you think. Okay, so the next thing is quality matters. It's not about throwing stuff together and expecting a great result. It's all about what you put into the planning, the creation, the look, and the feel. So graphics matter. $5 graphics off of Fiverr, and there are some great people on Fiverr, don't get me wrong, but there's some really crappy ones. Getting a graphic done on Fiverr is a hit or miss. Spending some time finding a really good designer and spending a couple bucks and getting something that looks really good, it's going to make a huge difference. So graphics matter. Copy matters huge. If your headline and your tagline don't connect with people right away, they're gone. They don't even watch the video on the opt-in page. They won't even read the rest of the body copy. Your body copy on your opt-in page, if you have any, is going to fall completely flat. It won't even get read if that title and that tagline aren't like totally on point, right? So copy matters. And one of my tricks about copy is getting into the mindset. I never open a fresh Word doc and let that blinking cursor get to me. I always read other people's copy. I read a book that's involved in copywriting. I'll watch a video on copywriting. I'll pull up my swipe file and I'll read other people's copy. I'll go to my competitors and I'll check out their Facebook ads and read their stuff so I can get in the headset, like the total mindset of copywriting before I write anything down. And that helps a great deal as opposed to just sitting and looking at a cursor, right? So take that tip and hopefully that works for you. Video matters. So what do I mean by that? Well, I'm creating a video for you right now and the audio quality matters. So that's part of it. But also the video. I have lights. I have a ring light that you can't see over here. I have a light, actually I have 2 box lights over here that are lighting up this room. At the time of this recording, it is pitch black outside. I wasn't able to record during daylight hours. So I'm actually recording at night and I've had to artificially light up the room so that you guys can properly see me. I have 4 lights on in this room right now that are assisting in doing that. But that's to create the level of quality that I want and that I know you guys will appreciate. So if your quality is really low, and it's not that you have to spend money on lights, it's that you just have to have some up-leveled look and feel to it. I have a really good camera, which is my Logitech C920, I believe. And I have a really good Mac. I have a really good computer in front of me. But I know that I have to have really good high quality HD video, and the quality is better on my Logitech than it is on my Mac. And if I was to change the cameras right now, and why not? I'm going to do it. We're going to take a little break. I'm just going to show you this. So let me move this. And this is hilarious that I'm doing this live. I'm going to change the camera. Can you believe I'm doing this? All right. Let me change the video. There. That is the video camera from my Mac. That is what it looks like with all of the lights on in here. See how grainy it is and how unlit I am. And now I've got all these shadows on my face and everything. And now I'm going to switch back to my HD Pro camera. And I'm just going to move it back over here. See the difference? So that's what it means to have a high quality camera, right? So that makes a huge difference. And then the other thing that makes a huge difference when you're creating your list building is the tech that you use. So, you know, you can use different types of page builders and they don't have to be super expensive. OptimizePress just came out with a new page builder. It's called OptimizePress 3.0. And I've been using OptimizePress since like the first version, 1.0. And it's gradually gotten better and better. OptimizePress 3.0 costs less than some of the page builders do, like cost monthly, right? So it's actually cheaper. You pay it once a year and it's great, right? And they've really brought in a lot of really good features in it. So the tech matters. Lead pages, I'm not a fan of lead pages just because I'm not a fan of their user interface. And if they've changed in the past a little bit, great, but I'm just not a fan of it. So the tech does matter on actually how to build it. And it also matters how somebody makes things look in that tech, right? So you can have really good, like you could be paying $297 a month for really good page building program or, you know, webinar software. But if the person controlling it and building it doesn't know how to make stuff look pretty, that can also be a problem, right? So these are some of the top things I've learned from watching other people's list builds as well as doing them for our clients. The next thing is planning. Planning matters. Any of these huge list builds that you're seeing the big people do, the Amy Porterfields, the Marie Forleos, who else is in our industry? Well, my industry, there's so many people that are doing this and they're throwing stuff, like they're not throwing stuff up. You know that they're planning. I've actually listened to podcasts from these people and they're planning their years out earlier, but they're planning out their list builds months in advance. And I had a call with a woman recently who wanted to put together a list build and she wanted to sell something off the back end of it. And I said, you don't have enough time before your suggested launch date. of your product. You need to move it out, and you need to spend more time planning your list build so that when you actually launch it, it's effective. What's the point of actually launching a list build and it falling flat if you don't take the time, because you didn't take the time to plan it out properly, right? The next thing that really matters is having some support. So it's really hard to do what we do alone. And you know that the top people have teams of people helping them. They have loads of people helping them. But when you're just starting out, or if you're, there's times when you just can't have that many people. It might be just you and a VA, or you alone, or you and a VA and a copywriter. I don't know, whatever your team looks like for you. For years, I did things alone. I was everything in the business, the copywriter, the tech, the person behind the camera. All of it was me, until at such point where I can actually afford to have somebody help me out. But having support doesn't necessarily mean spending money on people. Having support means maybe having a VA to help you out a couple hours a week, or having a mentor or somebody that you can turn to that can give you some information, or hiring somebody for a very short period of time who can support you on that thing that you're building out, that list build, that challenge, that whatever. Or even joining something like a challenge, like the Level Up List Build Challenge I told you guys about at the beginning, where you're going to be in a community of people who are all kind of doing the same thing as you, and you can ask questions and get some feedback from them and people like me who've been doing this for years. That's the kind of support that'll help you. So find groups, find a challenge, find a support system that's not going to cost you in time, and get some help, right? Get your questions answered. Come on these kinds of trainings, learn as much as you can, and then ask questions. Like if you ask me a question in this video, I'm going to answer it for you. Okay. You don't even have to pay me money for it. I will answer you. So these are the kinds of things that you can take advantage of, right? And then the last thing that I've learned from watching some of the really big top list builds is opening all the doors to create additional income and additional points of contact. So what's that mean? So when you're doing a 3-part video series, or a challenge, or a summit, or even a lead magnet, you have to make sure that you offer people a way to connect with you afterwards. So I can't tell you how many times I've actually seen people create a list build, and then the list build's over and it's done, right? So they create a lead magnet, enter your name and email, and get this PDF. And then they deliver the PDF, and then there's no follow-up. They don't go, oh, I hope you enjoyed PDF XYZ. How about we chat on the phone and talk about it? Or why don't you check out this webinar? Or why don't you come over to my business page? There's no door opening to different things. I've seen that happen so many times. So as an example, right, on a summit, you can open the door to booking calls. I had a client that we ended up booking a whole boatload of calls, but that client closed $100,000 in sales from a summit because we opened as many doors as possible. We had a VIP upgrade that included a free 45-minute call with them. We had a 15-minute session that they could book just as an attendee for free, and that closed clients. And then we went right into a webinar. Everybody who was part of the summit went to the webinar because they were invited to it, and then they sold their program, product, or service off of that. So you have to open up every single door possible and leave no stone unturned to make sure that you're covering all your bases and offering every opportunity to create that connection. I hope this was really, really helpful for you. This has been super fun to share because I love giving tips, and I'd love for you guys to come and join me on my new challenge, the Level Up List Build Challenge. Please go to levelupListBuildChallenge.com and sign up there. I can't wait to see you guys in there. It would mean so much to me if you join me. And let me know what you think of this video. So drop a comment below and let me know, because I'd love to get some feedback from you on this. So I'll see you next week when we have Haley Lynn Gray from Leadership Girl and Women's Entrepreneur Network joining us and talking about paid traffic, which is awesome. So I'll talk to you guys soon, and thanks so much for being here. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.